What is up guys, how's it going? In this video I'm going to be reviewing the Rogers LG G Flex. This device is available exclusively at Rogers in Canada. So anyways, let's go ahead and let's take a look at the phone. Now first off, this device is huge. It has a 6-inch screen which has a resolution of 720p and has a pixel per inch density of 245, and in front is also where you'd find the 2.1 megapixel front facing camera. Now on the back of the device is where you'd find the 13 megapixel camera along with the LED flash. It's also where the phone's buttons are, the volume buttons and the power button. It's also where the non-removable 3500 mAh battery is, along with the speakers. On the left hand side of the device is where you'd find the micro SIM card slot. On the right hand side there's nothing on the device. On the very top you've got a microphone. And finally on the bottom there's another microphone along with the micro USB port and a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now if you haven't noticed already, you're actually looking at the world's first curved smartphone. There's this subtle curve that runs through the device and it makes it look really nice in my opinion. Now as I mentioned earlier, the display on this device is quite huge. It's 6 inches and it has a resolution of 720p. Now, although I did enjoy the display, colors were very accurate and overall the color representation was quite good. I liked it very much, but then you can actually see pixels. This is something which I didn't like at all. As you can notice right now, on a white background, for instance over here on YouTube, you can just notice how grainy the background is. Anytime I move up and down, you can literally see whatever was left behind or the page I was coming from. This is really bad. They should have at least put a 1080p panel on this, but even viewing angles are pretty good, but other than that, I have no problems with the display, but I really think they should have done something better. But overall, it's a decent display, and if you're not reading text on a white background, then it shouldn't bother you too much. Now in terms of specs, this phone is packing a quad-core 2.2 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 processor. It's got the Adreno 330 graphics card along with 2 gigs of RAM. On the software side of things, it's running Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean on top of LG's Skin. And for storage, you've got 32 gigs, and no, it does not have any expandable storage or micro SD card slot. However, it is worth mentioning that it does come with 50 gigs of box storage if you're someone who likes to store in the cloud. Now the phone overall is quite huge, but it actually is made out of really nice build materials. It feels pretty good in the hand as well. And something worth mentioning here is that the back is actually supposed to be self-healing, so in case if there's a scratch, it's supposed to heal by itself over time. Now personally, I did not try scratching it because these are usually loaner units. I need to return them in good condition, but while paying attention at the back, I did notice a few deep scratches which I didn't make but someone else would have. So if the scratches are deep, let's say for instance if they're quite hard or harsh, I'm guessing they're not going to go away, but minor scratches from keys and coins are probably going to go away easily. Now LG has added a lot of extra features into their software. First one is obviously the most famous tap to wake and tap to sleep, or knock on as it's called, which was originally introduced with the LG G2. Next up is a feature called Slide Aside, which allows you to slide up to 3 apps from the home screen to the side. I guess that's why it's called Slide Aside, and then you can pretty much just swipe with your 3 fingers, slide again, and then open any of the apps, get into them, or close them if you like. You can also use 2 apps on the same time in one screen, and I believe this really takes advantage of the gigantic 6-inch screen, as the apps actually run pretty smoothly and really nicely. You also have the option to run a few apps in the background. The apps are actually always going to be there no matter what you do. You can adjust their size, you can open them, you can also adjust their transferability, and I believe this was a pretty neat feature as well. You've also got LG's Quick Memo, which can be accessed really easily, and it's great for taking quick notes on the fly and just saving them to your device. Now while you pull down from the top, you actually get all your notifications along with some quick settings which are there. You can edit and add a few more. There are also some certain apps which are pretty much always there on the notifications panel. You can also set different themes. There are a bunch of them to choose from. You also have the option to customize your navigation buttons. You can add a maximum of 4. You can also change the color or the transparency or the way they are displayed or the order. There's also a neat feature in which you can select some apps which, whenever the apps are launched, the navigation buttons would be hidden and you'd get that extra screen real estate. There's a whole lot customization you can do on the device. For example, you can even change the fonts, the font size. You can also adjust the screen color, so if you would like to change the screen tone, the color of the screen tone, you can do that too. There are also a few gestures which you can turn on and off. For example, when you put the phone to your ear, it actually automatically answers a call, or double tap to wake. There's also a guest mode which you can set up, and you can choose a pattern for that. You can also choose what apps you would like to be made available in that mode. There's also an immersive mode which allows you to unlock the device with both hands in landscape mode, and it opens all of your media consumption apps such as your YouTube, your videos, and your gallery. The camera on the G Flex, I would say, was quite decent. Its software overall was really cool. You could add a bunch of effects. You can also choose different kind of modes. There were certain settings you can also choose, and in terms of video recording, it also can record up to 4K video. So in case if you are one of the 4K peeps, you're going to enjoy the camera on this device. Now in terms of overall performance, this phone was actually really smooth while multitasking or running a bunch of apps. Switching between them was really nice and smooth, and animations were just about right. But although I did run into lag on a few apps, for example the Google Play Newsstand app had this constant lag while scrolling through news feeds. I'm not sure where this lag was coming from, if it was the app or not, but I have the app on my Nexus 5 and it runs perfectly fine. But on the G Flex, however, there was this certain lag while scrolling through the feeds. High graphic intensive games did not work very well for me. As you can see right here, I was running Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and actually turned down the settings to the very lowest, and it was still lagging on me. There was just this constant lag and stutter in between the games. I'm not sure where this lag was coming from. It was really hard to tell if it was from the developer, if the phone wasn't customized for the gameplay, but there was just this certain lag which was really annoying. And again, I own a Nexus 5 and I believe that has the same processor, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 800, and it runs perfectly fine on the maximum settings. So not too sure on what's going on here, but if it's with the device, then that's not supposed to be good. They should definitely fix that, and maybe the G Flex 2 should have a better gaming processor or a better processor in general. Battery life was very impressive on this phone due to its huge 3500 mAh battery. It lasted a couple days with moderate usage, and with heavy usage it lasted a full 24 hours. Now with heavy usage I'm talking about at least 5 to 6 hours of screen on time. Now, as you all know, this phone is curved, so I did try my best to flatten it out and make it straight. I was scared that I'm going to break it, but then again I did try, and to my amazement it actually went all the way and it got really straight, but the curve just came back up as soon as I let my hands go of it. Now, to conclude my review of the G Flex, I believe it's a very good device. The battery life impressed me, so did the camera, and so did the huge display in terms of consuming media, although I was a little bit disappointed with the screen resolution, but I think I can live with that. So if you're looking for a device to replace your tablet or to replace a larger sized phone, then the G Flex is definitely something I will recommend. Now anyways guys, that's pretty much it for this review. If you liked it, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below, or you can follow me on any of my social networks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, bye bye.